So when we talk about people getting stagnant, if you feel like you're at a point in your career where you're not growing, it's probably because you have too much going on outside of the actual growth and the juice to actually invest in your own personal development anymore. And some of you have gotten out of what you do best, and now you're an email checker. Now you're a professional counselor for your friends, and you're putting no time and energy into yourself.
This week, our show is brought to you by ClearBank. For all our entrepreneurs and small business owners, if you're generating over $10,000 a month in revenue, we have an extremely special offer for you. Find out how you can receive ClearBank Capital by getting your 20-minute term sheet at clearbank.com/success. That's ClearBank.com/success. This episode is also brought to you by our partner in crime, Organifi. Organifi is an organic superfood supplement line that makes quality, trusted nutrition convenient and accessible. Their most popular product, green juice, can supercharge your life, restore that glow, and help you feel decades younger in just 30 seconds per day without having to worry about shopping for ingredients, mixing and blending them, and then cleaning up afterwards. All ingredients are USDA organic, vegan-friendly, and made without GMO ingredients, gluten, or soy. Where else can you get superfoods like chlorella, moringa, spirulina, wheatgrass, ashwagandha, and turmeric, just to name a few? So make sure you guys check it out at www.organifi.com/success. That's ORGANIFI.com/success. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day, I am who I say I am, and I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles, you're not average. You're not even good, you were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
What it do? What's up, y'all? What's happening?
And Dr. Douglas, Allstate Insurance.
Allstate.
Thomas.
Double check.
State Farm.
Double check.
I'm gonna start just calling E State Farm if he keep making a racket on this podcast. This podcast is not intended for what you're using it for, brother. So be nice. Be nice. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate y'all tuning in to us. Man, it was an amazing weekend, a long weekend for me, man. Got to New Orleans on Wednesday and came home Sunday night, man. And, 4 days without the kiddos. And luckily, my lovely wife chose to join me, so that was dope. Shout out to my sister-in-law, my brother, for watching the kiddos and holding the fort down. They only got in a little bit of trouble while we were gone, so I felt pretty good about that. So shout out to everybody who came out to the Big Easy. Man, we must have had about, 700, 800 people, something like that in the building. It was packed.
Full house.
And had a great time, man. You know what? I haven't spent a whole lot of time in New Orleans, but New Orleans is definitely laid back. Like, I like their vibe. It's the Big Easy for a reason. I guess, but during the day, I think they laid back. But I hit Bourbon Street Saturday night.
Oh, yeah. They turned up.
And it was a twerk off. It was a twerk off, E. I was like, whoa. I said, bull, we got a quarter of the way down the street. I don't know what it is. I'm going to be real. Like, when I was younger, I used to love going to, Times Square and, big open spaces. I don't know. My anxiety level goes up in them places now. We walked down the strip for, 30 seconds, I was like, I think I want to go back. So we just went back. But shout out to New Orleans, Bourbon Street. We definitely had some amazing food while we were there and great times. Anything y'all want to say about y'all Bourbon Street experience?
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about, I did the exact same thing you did. I went Thursday night with Nikki and the crew. We started walking, and I promise you, we walked. I was like, yo, I'm good. Like, it's like, I don't see nothing different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got it. I'm ready to be up out of here. But no, like she said, I'll tell you one thing that threw me off, man. I'm not used to 95 degrees at night. That just threw me off a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Like, my body was just confused. Like, at night, again, we in Michigan. For my fans that love me talking about the weather, this one's for you. And at Michigan, we already in the 60s up here at night now. So, like, walking out, you know what I'm saying, and hitting the street down there and it's still 95 degrees, man. That threw me for a loop. I was hitting that shower about 3 times a day down there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. That's that, yeah. You know, I was used to that living in Houston.
Oh, Houston,
you get that same type of vibe, maybe even a little bit swampier in New Orleans, I guess, just with that moisture. But shout out to the people, man. They just super chill, good folks. You definitely get that Southern hospitality still there in New Orleans. E, how was your trip, my brother?
Well, the game was the highlight. I think that was probably the first Monday night football game I've ever been to.
I forgot. That seemed like a long time ago. What was that, Monday night?
Yeah, it was Monday night. Isn't that crazy? It was Monday night.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah. So I had, I did, man. Didi enjoyed herself. We had a very good time. It was like you said, nobody's doing a lot in the day, but at night they turned up, and it was the most turned up stadium I'd ever been to. Every time they scored, it was like Mardi Gras all over again. So I had a phenomenal time. The host, Terica, and the crew, they phenomenal hosts, took us to some bomb restaurants, had some great food, comfort food, fellowship. I just had a blast, man. I nice walk around, with D a couple nights in a row. I felt like the conference was, man, I just felt like they were just like listening. They were very attentive. And then we did the Masters of the Game. The next day, Masters of the Game, just always good to see, people, man, just really investing in themselves. It's just so many people who want to go to the next level, but who don't want to spend no money. Like, it's the craziest thing. But to see people who are committed to growth, and is this just me? But it seems like a lot of times we do Masters of the Game, these are people who are operating at a high level, who are trying to operate at a higher level. It's just weird. It's like, yo, he got money. Yo, she got money. He got money. Like, what are they doing here? I could count 20 people in my head that needed to be there, that weren't there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where are you? But it just seemed like people who are already at the top of their game trying to get to a higher level. So,
yeah, no doubt. Let me quick shout out, definitely, E, to you for the session we had, I believe, Saturday morning for Masters of the Game. Man, just an incredible whole morning session. Man, people were talking about that session like for the next day. And definitely want to shout out to all the Masters of the Game. For those of y'all who like, what are you talking about? Is our mastermind that we run once a quarter. It's pretty dope, man. We have some high level performers in there, and it's cool. So masters.game is the site. It's not really open admission like that, but if you want to fill out an application, we'll take a look at it. And please, it's only like 5 spots to go left. So if you want to fill it out, though, that'd be cool. For those of you who are high-level performers and looking to, go to an even higher level, this isn't for like, the college student, like, I'm just getting out of college looking for something to do. This isn't that, but for our higher-level performer professionals, masters.game. So talk to us real quick, man. What's on your mind? I know you got things to do. You're going to Cali tonight. What would you like to speak about today, sir? Would you like to talk about how the Lions? Would you like to talk about how the Lions haven't lost yet?
I love it. See.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I say it. The Lions ain't lost yet. We 2 weeks into the season without a loss.
2 weeks into the season without a loss. Yeah. No. That's a good play on words. Yeah. You know what? Let's stay here. Let's stay here on. Because I think a lot of people that join us weekly, I feel in my spirit that they are, either entrepreneurs trying to get to another level or wantrepreneurs. And they really have a desire, to live their best life, to live life on their own terms. And I kind of want to talk about this whole idea of people who really do, like, who come and, man, help me out. So here's the weirdest thing. I'm looking at the fact that there are people who have paid to be a part of our community who are also giving at the actual event. Like, this is weird. Like, my guy Mike came first. Like, Mike paid to, be in Master of the Game. I didn't know Mike before he got there. Come to find out, Mike is a financial, consultant, if you will, / financial
advisor, analyst, and so he was just coming, found out who he was, what he did. Based on my conversation with CJ, I end up, because he's right around the corner, I end up having him, give me my financial advice and help me with my financial portfolio. I just want people to listen to what I'm saying. This is crazy. You have people out there who you are, for lack of a better word, you lack. Like, you're not where you want to be. You're not doing what you want to do, but you have a desire to do it. And desire is definitely key number one. Like, that's the first part. You got to want it, right? But I'm looking at this guy, Mike, and Mike is like taking care of me. Like, Mike, like, this is what you need to do financially. Here's what you need to do with your taxes. Here's what your trust. I'm going to get you a lawyer. And I promise you, Maul said something in Utah. Couple months later, Mike helped me to actualize that. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Maul was talking about, like, you got to have a property. You got to do this. You got to do that. Then, when you leave it on to your family, you got to have a trust, whatever. I'm like, what? Trust? Yo, I'm the number one motivational speaker in the world. And I'm sitting with Maul, who also paid to be a part of, he came to every conference. He would have his friends come. He'd have his family come. He would pay for them to come, and here he is now, in the community, giving me insight, giving me information. Here he is now, helping my son. He just got my mom a property. I don't know what was it. See, like, I don't even know. Like, my auntie used to live in that neighborhood. I don't even know what it was. It was like I don't know what you call that. 8-plex, I don't know, but it had 8 different.
Yeah, 8 units.
8 units, bro. It was crazy. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And so I'm looking at these individuals. Now Mike is speaking at our events. I mean, he paid to come, speaking at the events. Maul.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. He gave some information at Masters of the Game. Everybody was like, okay, yeah, I was doing it wrong. I was doing it wrong. Yep, let me switch up real quick. So yeah, no, it was some, like, I was back there taking all kind of notes, texting Candace the notes as we were in there.
But I'm saying, I don't know if people heard what I just said. He paid to be in Masters of the Game and is speaking for us and to it. Like, he ain't called me like, I'm gonna need 20 grand to speak. You feel me? He like, oh yeah, he's paying and helping, right? Then I looked the next day, I hit C up and I FaceTime C. He got Adam in that joint speaking. Adam speaking, who's a part of the Masters of the Game.
Dr. Downs.
And so, bruh, I'm talking about dropping dimes, bruh. Dropping dimes. And so y'all got to help me out. See, you help me out. You've been with me for a minute. Carl, maybe you can shed some light on this as well. But my mom used to say, it ain't common sense because common sense ain't common. And I used to be like, yo, Mom, why is he doing that? Or why is she doing that? Common sense. And my mom was like, no. Don't say that, son. And my mom wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. My mom was like, yo, you got to understand something. You call it common sense. It's not common sense. Like, it's not sense that just gonna come just to come. Like, it's common sense, son, because it's exposure. So I go to Sexton today. I'm greeting kids. Like, yo, bro, I'm up here at Sexton greeting kids. And one girl, I put my hand out and she walked past me, and her homegirl, it might have been her sister. She looked like her and she was a little older. She was like, he's got his hand out. He's saying good morning. Shake his hand. Shake his hand. And then she comes back and shake my hand. And I'm just like, yo, that ain't common sense. I'm saying good morning. I got my hand out. But where she comes from, I don't know. It could be where people ain't greeting, whatever. So I want to talk about, how do people who don't know something get in environments they don't know, and they end up, I don't know, I don't want to call it doing the wrong thing. See, like, that's not a good term, but you end up missing out on opportunities because you're not able, maybe you don't have the information, or according to the DISC assessment, that's not your preference. That's not how you see things. So you see things the way you see them. You don't necessarily see them. Yeah. How do we get to that?
Yeah, as you're sitting there talking, and this, a wonder, and I think I might have said it before, but it, to me, as you're talking about all these individuals who are already playing at a high level.
Making bread, yeah.
And then you coming in and invest. Like, I'm gonna be real. Maul had probably more money than all of us when he started coming to the joints. And I'm like, yo, what now you have two different schools of thought. You have people who got it and they don't need nothing else and they like, I don't need nothing. You got people who, I guess 3, who don't have it, who like still scared to invest. And you got people like Maul who have it and still want to go to a higher level. And those are, I believe, E, and just similar to you, right? Like, I look at you and I'm like, wow, he want to get certified in the DISC assessment. He want to get certified in this. He want to go back and get a PhD. Like, I thought you were crazy for getting a PhD. I'm like, E, we finally rolling. Like, we are getting paid. We're doing what we said we want to do. We're impacting millions of people. Why do you want to get a PhD? And I think it's something about the greats that they are driven to get to an even higher level. Like, Josh just sent me a book the other day. We're reading The Talent Code. And I'm like, here Josh is, you know what I'm saying, started several multi-million-dollar businesses, and he's downloading audiobooks to try to get better. You know, where you have people who have not even remotely reached what they want to reach and still holding on to every dime and refuse to invest in themselves to get better. So it's the theory, that when you look at a Michael Jordan or somebody like that, and you hear MJ was the first one at practice and the last one to lead. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what sense does that make? Like, shouldn't Craig Hodges be there earlier than Mike? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't BJ Armstrong
Harper up in that joint?
Ron Harper need to be there all day, every day. If MJ, you see what I'm saying? No disrespect to them, but there's just that mentality. And I think some kind of way, the greats have this mentality of, I have to get better. Like, I have to take my game to the next level. And it's kind of one of those things, E, where you look at the chicken and the egg. You know what I mean? Like, which came first? Like, they got some stuff and then tasted it and then wanted to go higher? Or was the mentality born within them and that's how they got there in the first place?
Yeah. I don't know, see, because I don't know which one I had. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not sure which one I had first. I just know when I start seeing momentum, and you talk about momentum all the time, and please, guys, catch this. Momentum to me, see, is you go from homeless to somebody at the church saying, if you want to go to college, we'll let you stay at our home for the next 6 to 8 months. I don't want to lie. It was either 6 or 8 months. I don't remember exactly the time frame, but we're going to allow you to go to college. If you're going to go to college, we're going to allow you to stay at our home. We're going to take care of you like you're our son. Got a couple of, things that we require of you. But for the most part, I'm saying, this is all you got to do. And then that's momentum to me, see. So once somebody let me stay in their house from being homeless, and I've got like a roof over my head, now I'm not thinking, it's time to chill. Like, shoot, I ain't had a bed of my own. I ain't been able to take a shower. I ain't been able to eat, just go upstairs and grab a meal. I ain't been able to do that in about 2.5 years. Like, I'm just kicking my feet back with my head behind my hands. No, I was like, ooh, this is momentum. This is momentum. And I think that was the first time in my life where I had taken having a place to stay for granted. So I didn't have one for a while. So when I got an opportunity to get another place to stay, I was like, it's time to turn the heat up. So observation, please do me a favor. For those of you who are not where you want to be and you're trying to get to the next level, like, be observant. You have to be observant. I started standing in a crib. See, I knew immediately. Carl know what I'm talking about. He know the father. I think the father who brought me in went to school with his uncle or something like that in Trinidad or one of them spots. And so he already know. When I got there, bruh, when I tell you they was from Trinidad and Tobago and they was super conservative and church was like whatever, bruh, I'm not stupid, see? I'm not stupid. I was like, church is the most important thing to them. Worship is the most important thing to them. So have your butt up when they say let's have worship at 7:15, 7:20 before they go to work. Have your butt. You need to be the first one up, sitting on the couch, rocking and rolling. And they sons used to look at me like, bruh, you like worship? I'm like, bruh, I like having a house to live in. I like having a place to eat. I like a shower. And I see this as valuable to them. Do not overlook the power of observation. I was observant, see? I saw what was important to them. Now, I wasn't able to make everything happen, but I saw the worship was. I didn't miss prayer meetings, see? I never missed prayer meetings, see? I never missed church, see? I saw what was going on, And I said to myself, you are observant. Watch what's important to them and make sure you do what's important to them so you can stay here until it's time to go to school. Got to Oakwood, bruh. I was like, I ain't never coming back to Michigan. And so I just started grinding, so that I wouldn't have to come back. So I got up earlier. I stayed up later. So I don't know which one came before which one, but I do know when things start turning for me, I never wanted to go back, I never wanted to go back to homelessness. I never wanted to go back to Detroit. I never wanted to go back to that life I used to live. And so every day when I get up, yes, I'm grateful for what I have, but I'm always thinking about, the only way not to go backwards is to keep going forward.
Yeah, the crazy thing is too, man, to everybody listening, and I want to really slow down and take our time because I think this is important. Last week we talked about systems and somebody wrote in a question that I want to get to in a minute about systems. But when you really really assess where you are, right? I look at how much we've grown as a team and everybody's grown as individuals, and what the ultimate thing comes down to, right, is information. Right. And so you have to really stop. And the reason I love self-assessing is because you can kind of figure out, what do I need to know? What don't I know that I need to know?
Yes.
So when you slow down and really look at the gaps in your life, and this isn't just money, but let's just take, professionally for now, there are books that I've read, and I hate saying what books I read because I feel like everybody go read it and like we always say, you may not need to read what I'm reading. But I remember I read The One Thing by Gary Keller, and I know everybody gonna download it, and that's cool. Go for it. It's a great book. But I read The One Thing by Gary Keller. It literally, I feel like I got better after I read it. It was like X-Men. I felt like I had the blades coming out of my hand after I read that. You know what I mean? I could feel myself getting better. And so the reason that we're talking about now, obviously we're talking about extremes with Jordan and Michael Jackson, and you hear about all their preparation, and you look at Beyonce. I watched that Homecoming. You watch Beyonce, she obsessing over every single dance step, and it's wow, you see it. But even for your own life, what would it look like if you were to just read a couple books? Just a couple, I'm trying to tell y'all, I read that book for a year straight. 1 year straight, I read that book. And I felt myself as a coach, as a teacher, as, a speaker trainer, as, a teammate. I felt myself getting better. And because of that, my income has risen. So for you, what do you need to read? Stop right now. Do an inventory. Okay, cool. You on the podcast. I love it. Step one, right? You pop this in. Right. You ride down the street. We talk crazy. Y'all laugh. Cool. Y'all hopefully get some information. That's great. But if you're in construction, what do you need to find out being in construction that can help take you to a whole nother level? We're at the Mastermind this weekend. Maya said some stuff to some people in there and told them literally, she was like, you already doing this? Do you know you can't get a referral fee for this because you don't have a license for this? But if you just got a license in this that'll cost you $500, you could literally, every single person that you do, you could just refer them to the insurance, whatever it was, and you can get the kickback, and you can make an extra $150,000, $200,000 a year literally doing nothing, but you cannot do it unless you're licensed, and the license costs $500. You know what I'm saying?
Unbelievable.
Mine was blown. They were yo, I'm about to, they were calling their assistant, do it now. You know what I'm saying? But it was just information that you needed. And I think sometimes, man, we get to a point where, and I call it, the juice theory, right? We talked about the juice theory. I did it. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the podcast, but basically what I tell you is, as an entrepreneur, sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you is that you start having some success, right? So what happens is you have all of these great ideas, right? You're going to start a restaurant, or you're going to start a lawn care service, right? Let's just say you decide, hey, I got a lawn care service. You got this great idea how you can make 6 figures, whatever. When you start it up, what are you doing, right? You're in that creative phase. You're making juice, right? That's what I call the juice making phase. What you're doing is you're coming up with the logos. You got the business plan. You got the mantra. You got the mission statement. You got, your equipment. You're buying all the stuff, and you got all of this energy based around the actual business and the service that you're getting ready to provide. But what happens is you start to get some success. Now, all of a sudden, you got 5 homes that you're doing, right? But what happens is you get 5 homes, then you got to hire a couple more people. Now you hire people and you realize, oh, not only can I just hire them bootleg and have to pay them, right? We had to figure out something called payroll and payroll tax. Now you got customer complaints coming in. And what happens is you start to be a manager and you start to just put out fires all over the place and you start handling day-to-day logistics. And what happens? You're no longer making juice, right? And so you get to a point where you stop seeking information and you stop trying to get better and you get stagnant at this place. So when we talk about people getting stagnant, if you feel like you're at a point in your career where you're not growing, it's probably because you have too much going on outside of the actual growth and the juice to actually invest in your own personal development anymore, right? So I just believe that it was no wonder we continued to grow when my idea of, and again, genius I am, I just said, yo, he's the best in the world at speaking, but maybe not at like managing like back office stuff. So let me just make sure we take all of that off E's plate so that E just sits there and can make juice all day, every day. Like continue to make the donuts, like do what you do best. And some of you have gotten out of what you do best and now you're an email checker. Now you're a professional counselor for your friends and you're putting no time and energy into yourself. So stop and do an inventory of whatever. You could be in the salon business, the hair industry. You could be, whatever the industry is, what knowledge are you getting? And I like this word E usually uses. Explicit knowledge are you getting that can help you get to the next level? I'm telling you, I've gotten little conversations have taken our accounts up a whole nother zero because we've applied one little thing. And most of you, again, you get stuck in that bad system and it's just wake up every day, do the same thing, go to bed, wake up, do the same thing every day, go to bed, and you feel like you're trapped. Well, you on a hamster wheel. You're running, but you're not going anywhere. So you have to get off the hamster wheel. And to get off the hamster wheel, you have to get that information that's going to point you in the direction that you're supposed to get. So sorry for the rant, but I wanted to make sure people understand.
You're good.
Yeah, we got a new sponsor. Clearbank is giving you an opportunity. If you're an entrepreneur or small business owner, this sponsor is specifically for you. Clearbank is changing the way that entrepreneurs raise money with equity-free capital. You guys are familiar with Shark Tank. Well, there is a show in Canada called Dragon's Den. That's just a similar show. And the co-founders of that, Michelle Ramanow and Andrew D'Souza, after seeing how many companies were willing to part with precious equity for exchange, just for a bigger marketing budget, they decided to come up with this company called Clearbank. And what Clearbank does is it makes equity-free investments ranging from $10,000 up to $10 million. It can get you a term sheet in less than 20 minutes. You heard it right. I said less than 20 minutes. It's not a loan. There's a small flat fee for the capital and you pay them back using a win-win revenue share. Listen to me, there's no interest rates, there's no fixed maturation date, no personal guarantees, no credit checks, no financial covenants. So how they do it, you ask? Clearbank has relationships with marketing agencies, e-commerce professionals, venture capitalists, accountants, and more, much, much more, giving you really an unfair advantage in the market. And as for their track record, Clearbank has invested over $150 million in 2018, and they're on track to invest over $1 billion this year. Some notable portfolio companies, they include Public Goods, Lisa Sleep, Latote, and Buffy, just to name a few. So if you're doing over $10,000 a month in revenue, find out how you can receive Clearbank Capital by getting your 20-minute term sheet at clearbank.com/success. That's Clearbank, CLEARBANC, bank with a C.com/success. Stop pitching and get back to doing what you love, growing your business.
Oh, go for it, Carl, and then be ready to go again, because I want to show a lesson that me and Carl got some years ago, like what we actually did for training so that people can get it. Go for it, Carl.
I got you. No, I was going to say it real quick. See, the goal, and everybody gets excited about the goal, and the goal is like we talk about that GPS plot, like boom, we're going there. We're going to New Orleans this weekend. That's the goal, right? But what happens is the goal only determines the direction that you're going in, right? The system that you put in place, and that's what Steve was just talking about, the system is what determines your progress. Literally, the goal only gives you direction, and a lot of us get stuck at the goal. Like you
At
get
the goal.
the goal, like we gonna do
Oh,
this.
bro,
and
it
boom,
blows my
and
mind.
boom.
Every time E says Warren Buffett read for like 7 hours a day, I'm like, kill
Right.
myself.
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
like, who are you not to be reading for 12
Reading,
hours a day? If Warren Buffett's still reading 7 hours a day.
Insane. But yeah, so that's I think the hurdle that most people get into. Like everybody's clear on the goal, they got the goal. But E, you used to say, E, how many people are you really counting the cost? Like, what is the sacrifice that's actually going into accomplishing this goal? Like, there's a whole lot more than just the goal. So and to C's point, unless you were creating the systems that allow you to still do what you need to do
goal.
to support the goal, you were absolutely
Yeah.
stuck. It ain't going nowhere. And then the last piece of it is you can't think hard. Like it's really harder to think greater than you feel. Like let that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to think greater than you feel. So how you feel, you get what I'm saying? So the system not working, like, dude, you wake up with that. Like you wake up with that thing on you, and now you are stuck, not just in terms of the business, but now your physiology is responding to this, and now you're stuck, because now you can't even break the thought pattern to be able to break the action. You get what I'm saying? Like it start with the thought pattern. Go for it, E.
No. So for those, I want to see you guys out here. Okay, I want us to. We're gonna create like just a B, C, step 1, 2, 3 action. For those of you, who still may not know, okay, this is great, but how do I do it? So I discovered about 5, 6 years ago, I discovered through a speaking opportunity that Quicken Loans was doing a training every year. And again, listen to what I'm trying to explain to you guys. As a speaker, a part of my system is you don't ever go only to speak. You also go to learn, because the genius of speaking is that you have to have something to talk about. I don't know if people know that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, like, I'm a speaker. Okay, what do you talk about, right? And then to the depth of what you talk about. So I remember this whole idea of Tony Knuckles trying to really introduce me to being able to be a corporate consultant. So my first opportunity was to speak at Quicken Loans. They had like family reunion, and then they had the isms training. So I went to the training and was like, ooh, Carl, ooh, every time they do this, we have to be here, right? Every time they do the isms training, not as a speaker, but we need to bring the entire team. So one of the things I want you to do is I want you to decide where your learning will come from. Will it come from audiobooks? Will it come from trainings? Will it come from conferences and retreats? Like I want you to really think through, not just randomly you read a book 1 month or you go somewhere, like no. And so as a team, we knew that one of our training opportunities or experiences would be the ISM training, right? So I don't remember what year it was, but I mean, we go a lot, so I don't really remember. But Carl, do you remember the signature, and they it's a lot that we learn, but they had maybe 2 or 3 signature messages that they would give. And as a result of us going often, like we would go to the same one 2 times a year or maybe once or a year, but we went to the same one like multiple years in a row, multiple times throughout the year. And Bill Emerson had this one that he would do, and Dan Gilbert had one he would do. Carl, do you remember? I know you remember the Dan Gilbert one. All right, we'll start there. And that was what?
Always raising our level of awareness.
Always.
Awareness.
Right? And then do you remember the one that is their signature and why their employees have the environment that they have?
Responding with, sense of urgency is the ante to play. Was it that one?
Yeah. Remember that? And so do you remember this last one where Bill Emerson would break down, I think there's 3 ways to communicate, Carl? Was it 3 ways to communicate?
Yeah.
So
with the verbal, the body language, and
yeah.
What was the third one?
Is it physiologically, I don't remember how you say that one.
It's the physiological, verbal, and then something else.
So it's how you say what you say, the words that you use, and your body language. Do you remember, Carl, do you remember which one had the highest percentage?
Body language, I think is ridiculous, by like 70% or something.
70-some percent. Woo! All right, so real quick. Okay, so specifically,
can he call into
Carl,
the line, E?
You want him to call into the line, C?
Yeah, have him call into the line so I can hear him.
All right, Moose. They want to keep it 100, so I'm gonna give you a number. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, no, get him on the line.
All right, we're gonna get him on the line. I want to show Carl how that message was so important. That body of information was so important, and I want to show how, as a speaker, I begin to incorporate what I learned from him, and to C's point, how it changed the zeros. All right, so 712, Moose. 712.
Hey, wait. Hey, we recording. Text him.
Oh, okay.
I texted too.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Next week, we're about to have the whole audience calling in.
Right, exactly. E, I want to be on. Everybody who hits you like they want to be on the podcast, just send them a text. E, Carl and I will talk amongst ourselves.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Carl, let's talk about the Lions while we wait on Moose. The Lions got a win that I was sure they were going to lose, but they did pull it out. I was in the airport watching it, and I couldn't believe it, but the Lions actually won, bro.
Hey, it was a miraculous. I saw the end. I didn't get to see the end. I just saw the score at the end, and I was just like, wow.
Man, my bad. See, I was about to have everybody on the podcast.
I'm talking about the whole audience would have been on here.
It's
712-555-793-11.
Yeah, it's like, in the movies, they always got to put like 555 because people be acting crazy. Like, can I talk to Batman? Like,
I was about to have everybody on that joint. Okay, so guys, like I said, C been on our head, like, make sure we definitely want to, be, inspiring and enthusiastic, E. But make sure that, when people walk out, they actually have, steps to make it happen, right? And so what I want to make sure is Moose is coming on. And Carl, you let me know when he comes on, Carl. What I want to make sure is that you guys have the steps, all right? And so I revolutionized my speaking game by listening to my man really break down just this whole idea of, one, the words that you use are important, right? That was probably about 15%. The way you say the words, the tone in which you say the words was probably, another 15. It was like low. One of them was like 9, 10%. One of them might have been 12%. But your body language, like not just what you're saying when you're on stage, not just how you're saying it, but what your body language conveys is 70-some%. Blew my mind. Because you couldn't tell me, Carl, it wasn't because for real, Carl, especially educated people, they get caught up on like the terms that you use and how you use the terms. Then other people get the volume, talking low, crescendo, decrescendo. But really, what I learned 5-6 years ago from Bill Emerson is like, really, none of that is important. Like the most important thing as a presenter is your body language. Right? So Moose hit me last night, was like, E, I got a testimony for you, bruh. I was like, all right, give it to me. He's like, I got some stuff to do, but I'll give it to you tomorrow. I was like, bet. Moose called me first thing in the morning, and I want you guys to listen to what he's saying and listen to what Bill Emerson shared with us several times at that conference and how it revolutionized me as a presenter and as a speaker.
Moose, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Secret to Success podcast, hosted by Carlos Rivera Quinney Jr. and two other guys who really just are here as backup dancers.
Backup.
I'm excited to be back.
Hey, we're glad to have you, my brother. Enlighten us.
Yeah, so, so y'all know we had the 1% conference out in New York a few weeks back. And by the way, this has just been an incredible tour. For those who haven't made your way out, you guys are missing out. And it's just not just, a quick plug, but I'm telling you, the information has been rich. throughout this entire tour. But I live in New York City, and I felt that this was the great opportunity for me to bring my mother and my aunt. I have my own little segment that I contribute to the conference, and I said, hey, why don't y'all come out in day 2? Yeah, I was like, hey, come out on day 2, catch your boy in action, and I think it'll be a great experience, right? So my aunt had seen me speak several times before. That wasn't a big deal. But this is my mom's first time entering any sort of environment like this. First time ever. Now, mind you, my mom has a 4th grade education, dropped out of school when her father passed away back in Egypt in the 60s, early 60s. Came to this country. We've been here for 22 years or so. The woman has been grinding so hard and just, sticking with people of our culture, never really learned how to read and write, and can only put maybe a sentence or 2 together in English. So I knew it was going to be kind of boring for her, if I'm just being honest, because she's not going to understand 98% of the things that we're talking about. But one thing happened. When Doc found out that that was my family, he went up to say hello to them. Now, I didn't know this until after. She's kind of like pulling me in and kind of telling me what happened. She said, I have to tell you how much I want to change, because for someone who has hundreds, if not thousands of people lining up to say hello to them, he came up and stood on one knee to greet us and say hello to us and say, thank you for raising such a fine young man. Now, see, I don't know if you know, but culturally in the Middle East, or from where we come from, that is just an incredible sign of respect to take a knee and greet somebody and show that appreciation. She said that made her entire day. That's one. Number 2, she said, I have a newfound respect for what you guys do. I respect it so much so that even as someone in my 60s, I want to change. I want to be better. I want to get out of your way. My mom relies on me for everything. I get it. She said, and Carl, I told you the story. She said, I rely on you for everything, to get groceries, doctor's appointments, laundry, you name it, we do it together. She says, it's time for me to get out of your way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the public library and start taking English classes, learning how to read and write. I'm going to start taking driver's courses so that I can learn how to drive, because I don't want to rely on you anymore. So I had to call Doc this morning, and I was like, Doc, thank you, because I thought every time I think I've repaid you, some way, somehow, you just find a way to beat me. I thought I paid you back. I'm going to serve, I'm going to pay it back. But he got me again, because now someone, in their 60s is looking to literally pretty much start a new life because of just a small gesture, which really is a big thing, but because of what Doc did. So Doc, man, publicly, again, I just want to say thank you for that. That's
No. And I can't take the credit, guys. To C's point, I cannot take the credit. Bill Emerson, let me tell you something. I went to Oakwood University, bruh. They made me believe that 70% of being a great presenter, Carl, you grew up in the church, you know how they revere pastors. It was the verbiage, like the word play, you know what I'm saying? Like you using big words and you whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you talking loud and screaming and count 5, 4, Jesus is coming, 3, the Lamb of God. Like that's what we were taught, bruh. I sat under this man's feet at a conference and he said scientifically, not what your little friends say or what the pastor told you, scientifically, empirical evidence shows that it is body language. It is body language that most moves people and not the words that come out their mouth. And that changed me, Moose. And when I saw your mom, I already knew your mom was from Egypt. I already knew we didn't speak the same physical language. I already knew culturally there's some differences, but I knew what Bill Emerson taught me, body language. And so if I go and I bend my knee and I bow and submit before her, if I show her a form of submission, I knew that if I would just put my hand and just boom, you know what I'm saying? If I would just speak to her and look in her eye and say, yo, for real, I just want to say thank you. Like we got so many takers, people who come in our lives to get what they can get. Like, and there's nothing wrong with mutualism. You know that, Moose. Like we all about that. I'm not robbing you. I'm like, yo, paying you what you work, but you have come into our life to make our lives better. And I wanted your mom to know in front of her, in her presence, your son is a Jew. Like, you can't teach this type of humility. Like, you can't teach this. And I just want to say thank you. And that's all I was doing, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I did not know strategically that it works. Like, I know what I was taught. I know what I heard and I put into practice. And there are those of you who are hearing what we're saying and you going, well, why do I need to read a book? Or why do I need to go to a conference? Because it's not about you. And if all you're thinking about is you, you're going to get beat. You're not going to be in healthy relationships. But if you learn other people and how to communicate with other people the way that's meaningful for them, guess what you can do? You can help Moose's mom, who's 60-something years old, with just a gesture go, you know what? I need to change. Like, for real. She could easily go, bruh, I'm Moose. You owe me. You my mama. Like, keep helping me. But because of everything she saw at that conference, it did exactly what we wanted to do, Carl. No, you may not have understood the presentation, but you understood the presentation because we've learned that the language is not the only language that one can speak with. Words are not the only language. And so I'm grateful for conferences. And Carl will tell you, not only did we go to that conference year after year, we took the books that they had quarterly books. It was a summer edition, a spring edition, a fall, a winter. And we started reading that book and we started studying isms. And we started to understand why the isms were so important and why they were why he was so, Quicken Loans was so successful and the other 50 companies he had because of that training that they would do. And so, I just wanted to show people.
Yeah, no doubt. And Moose been in the squad for a long time. Y'all may remember Moose was on the episode, for those of you who are longtime listeners, when we talked about the Dreamers and the DACA. He enlightened us on that one at one of our live podcasts. Moose, let them know again where to find you on the gram or Facebook or wherever else you want them to go ahead and follow you at. Moose is one of our top trainers in our company. And does an amazing job. Let them know where to find you. Also, ladies, once he gives out this Instagram, feel free to shoot the DM. He's still single. Believe it or not. Hey, good-looking young bruh. I'm talking about making paper, handling his business, ladies. So shoot him a DM. Shoot your shot. If you're out in the New York area, you know what I'm saying? Definitely want to shoot your shot. Go for it, Moose.
I'm over here ready to tomato. Yeah, man. I'm on Instagram or all things social. Mostafa _Ghonim. That's MOSTAFA _GHONIM.
Ladies, act immediately. All right. Appreciate you, Moose.
First come, first serve.
All right. Take care. No. So I'll jump into the question that I had. Somebody ran into me and was like, yo, check it out. I heard the last podcast. I'm telling you, they were like, yo, I gotta make a change. He was like, yo, I'm stuck. I'm in the rat race. I went to college. I got a job. I don't make a ton of money, but I make okay money, but I'm in like a ridiculous system. He's like, yo, I'm working 60 hours a week. I got the fam at the crib. I've been doing it for 5 years straight. And it's just like, I feel myself getting stuck in this system and I'm not growing. And so he's like, yo, I know y'all said create a system and put a system together, but what if I'm already stuck in a bad system? How do I begin to weave my way out? So
no, one of the things that I got a personal text from a friend of mine that listened to the podcast with the same thing, like exact sentiment. And what I told him, the first thing that I would do is measure where you are. And not measure on I'm working 60 hours. No. Measure how you are really using your time. And Anthony does this thing with us at our events where literally it's 168 hours in the week. Mm-hmm. How are you using your 168 hours? Because it's one thing to be busy, and I mean like not productive. Like I'm using the word busy intentionally. It's one thing to be busy. You're running here, you're doing there, you're doing this, you're doing that. But right, you're active, right? You're active, not productive. So I'm like, yo, the first thing I would do, that's my recommendation to anybody. If you're stuck somewhere, you're not sure what's going on, let's measure. Out of 168 hours in a week, how are you using those hours? And then which hours are actually productive, whether that be family, whether that be financial, you know what I'm saying? Like measure. If you're working an 8-hour job and you're not making money from it, like you know what I'm saying? Like you just got to take stock of what is going on now, first of all. And then you can make, we can start to see what's happening. Here's a pattern. Like maybe I am sleeping too much, or I don't know, but I'm saying maybe I am, there's areas that there's gaps. Let me just put it like that. There are gaps in 168 hours. I don't care what your life is right now. There are gaps. And like Maul talks about being in the hole, like if we can figure out what the gaps are, like then we can start to make, and I'm talking about small adjustments. I ain't saying quit your job and go do this, but I'm saying like to C's point, read something in that gap. You know what I'm saying? Watch a different kind of YouTube video in that gap instead of watching whatever. Like just using the gaps more efficiently, because at the end of this, the information that changes what's going on. So that will be my starting point, C.
Yeah, it's to Carl's point. What's the gap, bro? Like it's a gap. Like I don't know what it is. To even simplify, Carl, what I would start with is a question, Carl. I'll start with a question. Why am I still here? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I still here? Why am I still at Michigan State University? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if they telling me I can't do this, do that, why am I still here? Okay, am I still here because I'm scared?
The money.
They gave me the health, the benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like for some people, it's the benefits. I'm scared. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to tell somebody the other day, they hit me up, was like, yo, E, I feel like I could speak, I could change the world, but my wife is sick and we got health benefits. And I just asked the question, is the company you work for the only one to have access to benefits? Can you not get can you not get personal? You know what I'm saying? Girl, I just want to know. Cobra, I heard of Cobra. You can't get Cobra? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they not have like insurance for people who are self-employed? And if it's more, is it worth it to pay more for insurance and be away from that job? Or is it better to be at that job and get pay less for insurance? Like, I don't know. But you got to ask yourself, why am I still here? Why am I stuck? Like, no, why am I stuck? Because the company ain't stuck. They paying me to be here and they getting something from me being here. Now, they might not be getting 120, but they getting enough to keep going as a company. Like, why am I here? What is the problem? And I remember when me, CJ, and Jalen had to have a talk, as father and son, like we needed a mediator. And I remember, I don't know if I ever told you this, C, but Jay was kind of pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was kind of pissed, like, yo, why you gotta call CJ? Like, why you gotta bring CJ in it? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real, C, I had to stop and ask myself, why did I had to call CJ? I had to ask myself. Now, I know why I wanted you there.
I was sitting back asking why either one of y'all was calling me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm being for real. And it was easier to call you than it was to deal with, like, hear what I'm saying, y'all that's listening. It was easier to call CJ and have CJ, do what he did, and we both walk away, and we would be better. Like, it would be better, literally. We were getting better every time. But one day I had to ask myself, why you gotta call CJ? And I said, you know why you gotta call CJ? Because you can't not be super emotional. And there's something about CJ being there that I'm not gonna be super emotional. Bottom line, CJ sitting here, I'm not gonna be that. Now, I'm authentic all day, but I'm still human. So I'm not going to be screaming and hollering and acting a fool while C is sitting there. Something about C being there is just gonna make me be rational. You know what I'm saying? Like, C's presence is gonna make me go, all right, E, C here. So if you go off, he gonna be like, E, relax, let Jalen get in. Jalen gonna be screaming and hollering. C gonna be like, Jay, relax, breathe, kid, talk to your father. And I was like, why do you have to have CJ do that? Why does he have to regulate that? That's not even fair to him that he's gotta be in our business like this. You feel me? And so I had to ask myself, E, why are you doing this? Okay, so this is what you need to do. Because I already know what I do. When you weren't there before I got to this place, see, I hang up on my man when he starts screaming and hollering. Or when he talking and he not letting me talk. I just be like, you know what, Boog? I'm like, yo, you know what, Boog? Like, bruh, I don't want to go here with you. Hang up, click, I'm out. The other day it was so funny. I have grown now. It was so funny. He was on the phone doing his thing. And I was like, okay, just listen to him. Like, just listen. And then he had gotten to that point where he got like really like emotional. And he was like, okay, so you want to hang up? Because he's so used to me hanging up, see? He was like, so what, you going to hang up? I was like.
And you had your finger on the hang.
I was like, no. I told him, I said, listen to me. You called me. I didn't call you. You called me. So we'll hang up when you're ready to hang up.
Same time.
You feel me? I'm just saying, when I just told him, like whenever you're ready, just let me know. But I said, but you don't ever have to worry about me hanging up on you again. You're not dealing with him no more. You're not dealing with that guy. So I may not necessarily like what you're saying. I might not even like the emotions in which you're saying it in, but I'm gonna sit on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes because it's not gonna kill me. I'm gonna sit on the phone for 10, 15, let you get all it out. And when you finish, okay, are you ready? So I had to start with a question, Carl, and I'm no longer in that place. I'm no longer, and where did I get it from, Carl? That's what me and my mom used to do. You feel me? Me and my mom used to talk till we got to a point where we fussing, and then we hanging up on each other. Why? Because we like, we didn't call to do this. We didn't want to be there, but we found ourselves there. So it's like, you know what? I'm gone. And I used to do it with my mom. And I'm like, E, you doing it again with your son. Like, break the cycle, bro. Like, you don't have to get that emotional. You don't have to take it personal. Just let my man say what he gonna say, whatever. And so I haven't had to call C. I don't know how long Houston was for me. I haven't had to do the Houston boy. I don't remember when that was, but I'm like, I can talk to my man on my own. We can get through this now. But E, you're gonna have to be somebody different. And so then I had to ask the question one, and then I had to ask myself, who do you need to be so that you don't have to do that again? And for those of you who are stuck, who do you have to be so you're not stuck in it?
Who do you have to be? I like it. Carl, anything you want to add on top of that?
I'm good on that one. Yeah, I'm good on that. Right. Ask yourself the questions and do something about it, though. You know what I mean? What Josh said, make the decision and then make it right. Do something. Don't just sit there and, let it keep going another year. There's something has to be done. The hamster wheel ain't gonna stop unless the hamster stop.
Yeah, so that's good. So let me briefly close it up and get this last point off. I really do think, and somebody said it at the Mastermind this weekend, like, we have to go over our, Q3, Q4 goals and things like that. And somebody said, my goal is to start waking up earlier. And I was like, wow. And I said, let me just tell you how that is already fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so honestly, guys, and I don't know how you feel about it, like, I think as humans, we have good intentions, right? Like, I really do think, like, everybody wants to be well-intentioned. Not everybody, but for the most part, right? Like, most people listening to this podcast, you probably want to do well, right? So we want to eat healthier. We want to lose weight. We want to invest in ourselves. But we use this, again, we talked about the verbiage earlier. We use this verbiage that gives us an out, if that makes sense, right? So like if I say, my goal is to start waking up earlier, there's nothing to hold me accountable to that for real, right? There's not like a hardcore thing. So what I said to her is, I said, no. Don't say I'm about to wake up earlier. What time are you going to wake up? Yeah. Right? Like what time? Like give me, is it 5:30, 6 o'clock? Like give me a time. And I think this is, I'm trying to use this as, just kind of a microcosm or a metaphor, but like for us and our success, like I'm about to start doing better with my personal development this year. That means nothing. Like, are you about to read a book a month? Are you gonna invest in yourself and go to a conference? Are you gonna join Game Changers? Are you gonna come like to the Phenomenal Life crew? Like, what are you going to do specifically? And I think the one thing for us, and E, you always had this on this early on, is like we had tangible things that we had to get done that were measurable, right? Most people who you're listening to this, nothing you do is measurable. Getting up earlier is not measurable. Like you could just, like seriously. So we don't know what time you wake up now, and then you just say earlier. So some days if you wake up earlier, I guess I do get up earlier, right? It's the same conversation I had with LaShawna, right? We talked about losing weight, and it was this theory of like the last few times I said I've been doing a terrible job as an accountability partner because I just been like, you been eating healthy? Yeah, I've been eating healthier. You been working out? Yeah. I've been like, but there's nothing to hold you accountable. So now that she just sent me a picture of the scale literally a minute ago, and she's down another 3 pounds, right? So when you look at the journey and when you look at yourself, and trust me, I'm guilty. Like we've all said it. I'm about to start drinking more water. That means nothing. Are you drinking a gallon a day? So I want you to really look at your life and do an inventory and what we're talking about and all of these things that we're talking about. When you want to switch your system, start putting and just implement them one at a time. You don't got to go crazy. I ain't telling you to read 30 books today. Just do something that is measurable, because what happens is, and E taught us this early on, when you start to do it over the course of 30, 40, 50, 60 days, then you can turn it into a habit. And if it turns into a habit, then you're good. And if you create success habits, your life will begin to start to look way different. So for me, like when I decided, okay, it's time to really like get on this health kick and lose this weight and like get to where you need to be. When Trey was born, like I was like, okay, here are the things. I must go to the gym 3 days a week. That's a tangible, like I can look at that and go, okay, Monday, nope, Tuesday, yep, Wednesday, like, and I know under no circumstances are you to miss the gym on Friday. Like it just cannot happen because it's a non-negotiable. And too many of us have negotiable things that I want to work out. I should get to the gym. It's negotiable. I have things now in my life that are just non-negotiable. I have to make sure I'm reading. I have to make sure I'm exercising. I have to make sure I'm spending the time with my family. And all of those things are non-negotiable. E and I even talked the other day about now E's like, yo, hold me accountable on putting the phone down and stopping work and like really locking in with D, because I'm going out to the mall and I'm on my phone and she not feeling like I'm connecting. So hold me accountable to that. So I'm going to have to tell E, and we talked about it at the Mastermind, yo, when you go to the mall with D, when y'all go shopping, leave your phone in the car.
In the car.
Nobody about to die while you in the mall shopping with D for them 2-3 hours. Nobody's going to die. And I know Didi's phone number, so I will call Didi if it's something that pressing. I'll call D and I'll get you. But that is something tangible that you can measure. But most of you know what you'll say? Man, I need to do a better job with my screen time. I need to do a better job spending time with my wife. But you're not gonna say, every time we go shopping, I'm leaving my phone in the car. That is a tangible, measurable, something that you know for sure you can do, right? That has a measurable impact on your situation. And so I really do want us to get out of this gray area or this very broad picture of like, don't ever say again, I want to wake up earlier. I want to be healthier. I want to drink more water. No, start putting tangible, measurable results on all of those things, or don't say it, because I know how you say it, and you purposely say earlier because you want to give yourself an out and you don't want to hold yourself accountable to exactly what you're saying. That's why I told LaShawna, we need a system. How many you want to do? I told her, I let her pick the system. I said, what you want to do? Like keto, you want to do calorie count? Like, what do you want to do? What works for you? Okay, boom, we sticking to that, because you need to know, okay, I'm doing 1,500, 2,000 calories a day. Cool. 2,000 is tangible. I'm not just saying I'm eating better. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I wanted people to implement that into their system, tangible things that they can begin to do that's measurable, that at the end of the day, you can look at it and go, check or no check, right? I feel like if we just say better, I want to eat healthier. You could be like, oh, well, I had a big old cheeseburger, but I only ate half my fries. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, in your mind, you saying better, which maybe it is, maybe it's not, I don't know. But talk about, either one of you, those tangible things or anything that you've implemented into your life that you say, yo, I've actually changed because I made myself do this.
Watch this. When I tell you I got a whole, like, I'm looking, and it's funny that this is the topic, see, because yesterday I was reading on this. So I literally got 4 steps right here in front of me. Number 1, and get ready for number 1, eliminate as many of them goals as possible, because what's happening is, and see, it's back to the one thing. You got 3 or 4 goals. I'm gonna get healthier, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and all of them are competing with each other. Find one thing that you're serious about, something big enough that it'll motivate you every single day. Like just one. Let's start with 1. We're not trying to be deep. Between now and December, it's one thing that you focused on. The problem, the line said, the problem is not goal setting. The problem is goal selection. You're trying to select too many things and you're trying to do stuff. They used an analogy, and I can't even, I'll see if I can find the website I was reading yesterday. But it said, literally, if you want like a nice rose bush, listen to it carefully. They said you actually have to cut away some of the good buds in order to get a bigger flower, better flower of the rose bush. You got to cut away some of the good buds. So it's not that they're bad. But again, you focus, you want this thing overall, you want your life overall to change. So the first thing was literally eliminate. It said avoid anything that's less than the top priority at all costs. Avoid it like the plague. And then see, you just hit the other one, but it's talking about when, where, how. Like, don't just say, just the SMART goals kind of thing. But this is another one that I read that it said put an upper boundary. So we always, we said we're going to work out 3 times a week or whatever. I'm going to work out 3 times, but not more than 5 times. Put an upper boundary, but here's why. When you start, you get excited. Like, let's just use working out. You get excited, I'm going to run a mile today. Shoot, I'm going to do 6 tomorrow. And what happens if you keep that trend though? You burnt out in about 3 weeks. So again, just being super specific about it, like not only a lower boundary, but you set an upper boundary because you want to make sure it's sustainable. And then the other one that I saw was talking about making the environment conducive with the goal. Like your environment has to be like it has to be cohesion between that and your goal. Like you can't tell me you don't want to check social media, but to your point, you sleeping with the phone under your pillow. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me that you don't want to check social media, you don't want to look at email, but your phone is under your pillow when you go to bed at night. Like she said, leave the phone in the car, leave it downstairs, leave something else. If it's a workout thing, if it's drinking water, make it cohesive. So keep a water bottle with you at all times. Like, these are like simple, tangible things that you could do. If water is the goal, then doggone it, you should have a water bottle in the car. You should have one in your bag. You should have one, in a pocket, a small, have them everywhere. If it's to floss your teeth, for crying out loud, have floss everywhere. Make sure it's conducive to it. So literally, I was just studying this yesterday and it's like, dude, we can change, but we got to start with just start with one thing. And we talked about the keystone stuff. There's one. So for me, it's funny. And somebody asked me on the BU call yesterday, man, how hard was it to make the adjustment that you're making now? So for me, and if I talked about it before, y'all can hold me accountable. I'm literally going to the gym 5 o'clock every morning now. Before I was doing it, here or there. Now I'm going 5 o'clock a morning, 4 days a week. No questions asked. All right. What's happening to me now, though, is to make that goal come alive. There's so many spin over things that happen. Did I talk about this last week? I feel like it's familiar. Or maybe it was just a BU.
No, go for it. No, you good.
Yeah. There's so many things for that one goal to happen, for me to get up and go to the gym every morning, well, at least 4 times a week. There's so many things that have to go in place. The time that my kids go to bed, now becomes a real big factor. The times that they have dinner becomes a real big factor because I have to get to bed at a certain time to get the rest that I need, right? So if I don't get to bed by 9 o'clock, 9:30, you know what I'm saying? I'm waking up tired. So it's forcing me now to adjust the back end of my, so again, keystone habit, one change. The goal for me is, Carl, and I'm not, just for everybody out there, I'm not out here trying to get buff. It ain't none of that. I'm about to turn 40 in a couple weeks and I'm trying to make sure I go into 40 feeling my best.
Lordy.
Yeah, it's getting real. It's getting real out here. So what I'm doing is just that. I'm taking that serious. Carl, your health, it's important. But the specific thing is we're working out 4 times a week. But the spin-off effect, and somebody was asking me if it was easy. And here's the funny part. See, it was absolutely easy for me to change because my mind changed first. My mindset changed first. So it wasn't like me. I didn't have to force myself into the habit because my mind, the information I've been receiving has been so strong. The time away in Barbados has been so strong that when I came back, it's things have to change. It's not an option right now. It has to change starting today. And literally, I came back from Barbados, signed my whole family up for gym membership. We've been going ever since. Literally. So it was an immediate thing. But now it's almost, and see, I'm talking about in a month, it is a part of me now. That simple. It's a part of me. So I'm telling people it's difficult to change your habits, yes, but I'm saying once you can lock in, I missed one. Let me go back. They said attach it to a current habit. So if you before you shower, I'm gonna do 20 push-ups before I shower. You're gonna shower every day. Attach it to something that you already do. So it's not you just winging it. Now I gotta get up and I gotta go do this random thing. No, you can attach it to things that you already do. So it kind of falls into the pattern you already have. But I'm telling y'all, this right here is the core of making a difference in your life. At the end of the day, it's your decisions that have you where you are, not mine. For each of us, it's the decisions that you've made the last 20, 30, 40, 50, however old you are. It's those decisions. And listen to what I'm saying. For those that something happened to you, I'm not nullifying that, but it happened. Like, you can't still be there, right? Whatever you need to do, if it's counseling, whatever, like, we gotta find a way to get past these things, because at the end of the day, it's your decisions that have you exactly where you are right now. So if you're not happy about it, guess what? Here's the good news. It could change today. You could change it right now. Like, you ain't gotta wait for you ain't gotta go to church next week and get something. No, I'm not saying not to go to church. Please go to church. But I'm saying you can change right now. Like,
from the
just
living
literally
room.
getting from the living room.
APOC.org from the living room.
I ain't gotta send you no handkerchief that was prayed over and you got anointed on your head. No, I'm telling you, you can be serious about the things that you wake up and do every day, and it will change your life. That's 100%.
Change your habits or change your dreams, no doubt. E, you got anything you want to put on top of that?
No, I would just say, Carl, I don't want to add to that, but I would just say that count the cost, or don't count the cost. Like, I don't mean count the cost and let the cost discourage you. I mean, make sure that it's worth it, what you're doing. Like, make sure that the goal that you're doing is going to bring some real tangible results, right? So I live in a neighborhood, and, people pride themselves pretty much in the summer on the grass. My next door neighbor, Mike, he killing the grass game. You know what I'm saying? And Mike said to me, it might have been July, it get a little hot. Well, I don't even think it was July this year, Carl, probably August. It was probably late July, early August. My grass, y'all, for real, was straight up brown. Everybody else's grass was green for the most part. My grass was brown. And, me and Mike was talking. I was like, yo, Mike, how much would it cost, bro, for me to get the little system? And he had a guy over there that was working on his. And he was like, the dude was like, probably about $4,000. So I'm just going to be real, see? I was like, $4,000. Come September, that joker going to be green again. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 100. Come September, bro, I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $4,000 on 1 month, a year. I just don't know if I want to do it. And sure enough, Carl, I didn't. I came home 2 weeks ago. That sucker was green.
She's so green. She's
so green. I told Mike, I said, mine looks sweeter than my man next door. Don't he got a sprinkler system in his crib? He was like, yeah, he does. I was like, yep. So just be careful, Don't get so caught up on this. Like, sometimes I feel like people are fanatical about goals. It's like it becomes this fetish that people like. It's like goals. I got my goals, 2020 goals. Don't do that. Like, can we say this? 2020 results. So ask yourself, if you put all this work in, are you going to get meaningful results from it? And if you are, do it. If you don't. But do something that is going to bring meaningful results.
Real quick, man, before we exit today, I did want to tell y'all about something else I got a chance to do for the first time ever. I always wanted to do it and just kind of waited on that right time. I went to a plantation, I think it was Oak Alley Plantation or something like that in Louisiana. Of course, and man, it was, I don't know, have y'all ever been to one?
No.
A plantation, but not in Louisiana.
Okay, so we went to a plantation, Carl, and it was, man, super, super emotional. Obviously, you've seen and you hear about it, but to be in the house, that the slaves built, a huge plantation house, to see their living quarters, the grounds, everything was it was honestly it was incredible. Just rich. It was sad. It was like literally all of these emotions coming out at once. And so I just recommend anybody, go do that. We had a quite a big group with us, man, and just, you learn so much and you hear so much and you just respect, the work that our people had to do, man. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. They said there was these like huge trees lining the walkway up to the house. And they said, yeah, those trees used to be in the back. And my man was like, no, I want these like in front of the house. So he had the slaves. These trees were like 50, 60 years old, Carl. He told them, like, go get those trees from back there and put them up, like trees. Like, you talking about the 1800s. Like, you didn't have like trucks, tractors, like.
No John Deere.
Bruh, right. They straight got I'm like, wow. And you just see you could just feel it. Like it was almost eerie in a sense, but it was definitely, one of those moments. And, I hate to sound cliche, but for those of you who maybe have lost perspective or, you like to complain about your job, about your family, about your kids, like, it was one of those things, Carl, where I'm not sure how long it's gonna last, but I came back super grateful and super fired up that, I get to do what I get to do for a living. And I would just suggest that, man, if anybody gets a chance, we went to the Oak Alley plantation. I think we were going to go to the Whitney plantation, which I think is the biggest, maybe like the most popular one, but we couldn't get them to accommodate us at the last minute. But definitely recommend that anybody, in that area or in any other area get a chance to go visit that. Definitely do it. It's hard. Some things are hard to look at. Some things are hard to hear, but it's the truth and the reality. So, go check that out. And, I think it'll be a life-changing experience. You know what else is a life-changing experience? Organifi.
Organifi
yes,
through your
sir.
system.
You know what I'm saying? Get you some Organifi. Hey, let me tell you something. The Organifi, he saw me. I was almost down. Down Thursday when I got to
Brown.
New Orleans.
He was almost down like Bobby Brown.
Oh, I promise you. Bruh, I hit that Organifi. I was like Popeye on that spinach. I bounced right back. You know what I'm saying? I had the nose thing going. Toby's whole crew was over here. A couple of them was sick. Candace got sick. And the Organifi, I'm talking about powered me right through that joint. Was feeling good, man. Organifi, the superfood green juice powder that the whole squad uses to get to that next level. Make sure you check them out, Organifi.com. They have a ton of supplements, a ton of protein, just the zinc, the irons, the minerals, everything you need to get your life to the next level and keep yourself on target for your health and wellness goals. All right, go to Organifi.com. That's ORGANIFI.com. Use the promo code SUCCESS. Get 20% off your order. And let them know we sent you, dog. Let them know. Carl, what do we have on the menu for our wonderful, lovely listeners?
Yes, sir. We have I don't know how to say this. It sounds weird, but the last 1% event of the year.
I don't think that's true. I'm trying to get another one. We need to.
No, for
real.
I'm
buying for another one in December.
Me too,
How can we pull that off? I want to go somewhere else. The 1% is
somewhere
fun,
warm,
man.
Please. Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
having a blast. But for now.
For now. All right, as of now.
Right. For now.
The DMV
so it don't seem like a
area,
marketing gimmick or something, Carl. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, if you in Washington, D.C., Virginia, if you anywhere in that area, Maryland, we are coming on October 5th and 6th, man. We're bringing the 1%. Like you just heard us talk about New Orleans, and I'm serious. We're not, I wish we had gimmicks. It might be easier to just have some little cliches, but I'm telling y'all, the experience and listen to what I'm saying. This is Carl speaking. When people are walking up to me and telling me, and y'all know I'm not the keynote speaker, but people are walking up to me and telling me, this is changing my life. Here they go. No, people, I'm being real, man. People are walking up to me to tears, man, thank you for saying what you said, it's changing my life. There's stuff that I got to go back home and talk to my kids about, my wife about, there's some decisions that we got to make. That's what we're experiencing, man. And I'm saying it's huge for us, but just to see people walking away with that, you know what I'm saying? That thing, walking away with that, I'm about to go make my life exactly what I want it to be, man. There's not a better feeling in the world. I'm speaking for us as a staff, man. So I'm telling you, if you are on the fence about it, jump off the fence. Just be there. Just get in the building. I don't care if you do VIP. I recommend you do the day too, but I don't care if you do it. I'm just saying get into the environment because just being there, I'm telling you, the experience alone being in that room, you're going to walk away with some stuff that's going to change your life. So again, Washington, D.C., October 5th and 6th. And then of course, Phenomenal Life 2020. We're going to Mexico, y'all. I'm talking about we started announcing this thing, 8 months ago now? We almost there. It's next April 25th to May 1st. 2020 is our week. I don't know how to describe it. It's our week away, but our grind week, our fun week, our everything week, man. We get it all in Riviera Maya, Mexico. So please, like seriously, do not, everything, listen what I'm telling y'all, everything that we do, like, you know, we do a 1% conference, we did Take Control, we did, you know, different conferences, like we bring in the all-star crew, everybody that's been, you know, to our events as a speaker, they're for 9 times out of 10, most of them are there in our, I was gonna say cruise. We can't say cruise no more, but they're at our Phenomenal Life events, man. So I'm telling you, you're getting the health, you're getting the finance, you're getting the real estate, you're getting everything that we got. You do not want to miss that at all. So put them pennies aside. Hey, do me a favor. Don't do a whole lot for Christmas this year. Don't do a whole lot for Thanksgiving. Put a couple dollars aside and invest in yourself, not in just getting, you know, extra pound or 2 over the holidays. Invest in yourself. I'm serious. You're not going to regret this decision. Getting in the environment is going to change your life. So again, Phenomenal Life 2020, April 25th to May 1st. We are going to be there. So let's get it.
When does the 100-day challenge start? We need to get.
So this year, look, let me say it like this. We're crushing the fourth quarter, all right?
Oh, yeah.
So what we're doing a little different this year, we're going to focus on that fourth quarter as opposed to the 100-day challenge. You know, we ended at Christmas. We're going all the way to the end of the year. So here's what you're going to get. We're going to include our planner, our 30-day planner, and you're going to get a planner for each month. October, one for November, one for December. And here's the truth, y'all. If you're not writing it down, if you're not measuring it, it's not real.
Yeah.
Right? So we want you to be journaling every single day. Here's the goal. Like, here's where I am. Whatever we're doing, we're writing it down because if we don't measure it, it's not real. So you have the planners. Then we're gonna add each of you to our private community. Listen to what I'm saying. The private community. You heard CJ talk about the accountability and how real it is. Monday through Friday, we're gonna have accountability calls. Like literally, the whole goal of this thing is to hold each other accountable to get these things accomplished. etinspires.com/challenge and sign up. Again, etinspires.com/challenge. Are you ready? Come on, y'all, let's go.
Oh, I love it. E, man, I owe you an apology. Yeah, no, I do. You said at the beginning of the year you were about to go to like football games this year. I doubted you. I said the over-under at like 3. And I think you might have beat
Over-under.
and surpassed that. So I just want to say, man, I apologize. You are hitting the games. I see you on the sideline, first row, sitting next to Sean Payton's dad, just hanging out with the team.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't get me in trouble, see. I found out that that's his brother. I'm so sorry. My boy was laughing at me like, what? I'm about to tell Sean you said that was his father. It was his brother. I apologize.
Okay, his older brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Slightly older brother.
Slightly older brother.
Oh,
Grade
wow.
early.
He done put my man on Instagram talking about Sean Payton, me and Sean dad.
You know what I'm
me,
saying?
Pops. Hey, love you, Pops. You know what I'm saying? My man about 52. E49.
You feel me?
I thought he would like that. Hey, he always be trying to act all mature, but then when I get the joking, he get weak. I'm like, you can't have it both ways.
Hey, I did it my way.
So what's the next game you going to?
What's okay, it is, man, it's gonna be a minute because I'm going to Cali with the Lions. I'm trying to either do the Lions or the Bears.
When you coming back from Cali?
I'll be back Saturday.
Oh, wow. Hey, make sure you give me some tickets to the game Saturday too, dog.
Which one? Which game?
Oh,
I got you, Indiana. No, Indiana. I just said it. I'm sorry, Carl. Indiana.
Yeah, but I need like the same.
But you
type
said
of
that's the
tickets you
28th
get.
though.
You would get.
You know what I'm saying? I want like the Tom Izzo tailgate. I want to be rubbing shoulders with Tum Tum. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I ain't just trying to be going to the game sitting in the nosebleed. I want to go on the basketball court before the game with Tum Tum and shoot some free throws.
That's right.
Yeah, no, so get on your grind before you leave at Cali, because I know what I'm going to call you on Thursday. You're going to be like, shoot, see, my bad, shoot, hold on.
You said 4 tickets to Indiana. I got you.
But I need them tickets, though.
I got you. I know what you're saying.
I want the tailgate experience. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I want the whole, you know what I'm saying? You remember the pictures we got with Trey from last year?
I do.
I need that same. I want to be on the field when the band come out.
When the band come out.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know E now. When you know what I'm saying? He don't when it's time to come up with somebody else stuff. It don't always look. I'm like, wow, you was Sean Payton's grandfather. You know what I'm saying? You was Sean's grandfather. I'm in the nosebleed with Jerome. You know what I'm saying? Smelling like Bud Light. Unbelievable.
No question. When the Saints go marching in, baby. When
you
the
were
Saints
Sean's
go
great
marching
uncle,
in.
exchanging war stories. You know what I'm saying? All right, E, give us a nugget of the day so we can get out of here.
Man, I don't have a nugget, y'all, with this foolishness. I do not have a nugget of the day. Oh, man. Hey, I'm a borrow from Carl. You know, if it's broke, it's your responsibility to fix it. You know what I'm saying? If it's broke, don't look for, like, it's broke. Accept the fact that it's broke. You know, take ownership, it's broke. You know, and then fix it. Because to Carl's point, you know, if it's your problem, the cool thing about it is it's your solution. You know, so, you know, for real, if you're part of the problem, you're part of the solution. And so you should be empowered. Like, don't let the problem take the wind out of you. Like, what you should focus on is I also have the solution and I can turn this thing around. And not I can turn this thing around, you know, in 60 days or 120 days. Like, no, you can start the process of turning that thing around right now. When you get off this podcast, you can start doing the work that's required to get different results. So I love you. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. Let's get it.
Well, yep, appreciate y'all. Yeah, continue to leave us those reviews. Shout out to everybody who went and left a review on iTunes after the last one. Man. We appreciate y'all. Shout y'all out. Listen, man, we are extremely grateful for y'all rocking with us. And yeah, go get it, man. We love you. We'll see you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul.